Hey, Tommy from the Run Testers with another running shoe review. In this video, I'm going to be doing a full review of the Puma Magnify Nitro 2. I was sent these by Puma. I'm not paid to review the shoe. I can say whatever I want, but thanks to Puma for sending this over so I can get this review done. Right, let's dive in. Puma Magnify Nitro costs £130. We don't have a US price yet. It weighs in at 287 grams or 10.1 ounces for men in a size 8, and the drop is 10 millimeters. Magnify Nitro 2 is the updated version of Puma's Max Cushion daily shoe. This improved design includes a full-length nitro foam to improve cushioning and provide a touch more firmness. The shoe features an engineered knit upper to provide better stepping comfort and a more flexible fit. There's a Pumagrip outsole for an impressive level of grip and to increase durability, an internal and external moulded heel for a good lockdown fit, and medial power tape areas across the shoe to provide support. Okay, so the fit for me in the Puma Magnify Nitro 2 is, I would say, size down half a size. I'm a size 8, this is a size 8. There's definitely a lot of space in the forefoot of this shoe. It's also a US size 9, but yeah, there's definitely a thumb space at the front of the shoe. So it's not been a problem for me on the run, but if you're concerned about the size of the shoe, then I'd probably size down half a size. In terms of the upper, it has a fairly nicely reinforced upper with some power tape sections on it. The rest of it is sort of a stretchy sock material, so it is quite flexible to the foot, and there's a lot of space to wiggle your toes as well. It's not necessarily a narrow shoe or anything like that, and even if your foot does press a little bit, because it's so stretchy, it's not really a major issue, but I would size down half a size. I never got a chance to test out the original Magnify Nitro. Mike was a massive fan of that shoe. There's been a few changes to this version of the shoe over that. Probably the major change is that the midsole foam is updated and it's designed to have a bit more of a softer ride to it. It's part of Puma's new series of shoes that all have this nitro infused foam in them, which is very good. It's a very nice foam. What I would say about the Puma Magnify Nitro 2 is that it is a little bit different than a lot of cushion shoes that we normally try. So cushion shoes vary quite a lot these days. Sometimes they can be max cushioned with lots of softness, sometimes max cushioned and quite firm. This cushion shoe sits in the firmer side of the running for me. It's a little bit more responsive. It's definitely, you don't really feel much of a squish in it when you're running in it, but it does have a little bit of softness in it as well. So it's quite a nice balanced shoe when it comes to doing daily training miles or longer runs or recovery efforts. But if you do like a really soft shoe, you're probably not going to get it from this. It does have a little bit, but not loads. I've used it for a variety of runs, but I found that it works best for those runs where you're going out and you're probably going around your sort of daily effort, slow runs, easy runs, that sort of thing. When you pick up the pace in this, it's a bit better than some cushion shoes. If you're running fast in something like the Nike Invincible 3, I find that shoe sort of slows me down and just doesn't feel like it's giving me any benefits at all when I'm trying to speed up. This is a little bit more to this shoe. It's a little bit more responsive. It just feels like there's a nice turnover. There's a 10mm drop in it, which is noticeable on the run. It's quite a nice smooth transition, and it's overall a very solid shoe. I think the major thing about this shoe over other cushion shoes is, in fact, is because the midsole foam is a little bit firmer. Still not 100% firm, but because of that, it's quite a stable shoe as well. It feels like a very solid shoe to run in. So if you are the sort of runner that is looking for a cushion shoe but is a little bit concerned about the softness of those midsole foams, then this is probably a good option for you, because it ticks a lot of boxes when it comes to not having too much cushioning or wobbliness or anything, which you can get in some cushion shoes. I found the upper on the run to be very comfortable. It's slightly plush, it's not too plush. Puma has been a little bit reserved in some of the cushioning around the main section, which you don't always see in cushion shoes. Sometimes you'll get cushion shoes that have loads of plush cushioning in them. Puma's not really done that with this. It's plenty in there. It's a very comfortable feeling shoe. The tongue has just enough cushioning in it. It feels nicely padded, but there's not loads on it, presumably because Puma want to make this a little bit more versatile and not really heavy on the foot when you're out doing those easy runs and those longer runs. Obviously, the Pumagrip outsole is fantastic. There's loads of rubber on this. I've had no issues gripping the ground with this shoe at all. It's been fantastic, and turning corners and everything. Twinned with that more stable midsole foam, it's really a solid shoe on the foot. So if you're the sort of runner that wants support in your running, it's not a stability shoe, but it does feel like it gives you some of that as well. I definitely feel, in comparison to some of my other max cushion shoes, that this is really firmly holding my foot in position and helping me to maintain a nice consistent cadence without any sort of wobbliness or anything like that. That power tape on the upper, there's quite a bit of power tape around the midsection of the shoe. Does a good job. The midsection is definitely the more sturdy part of the shoe. This sort of elasticated sock-like feel to the front of the shoe, it really helps with that. So it holds the foot in place in the midsection of the shoe without adding too much support on the front section of the shoe. So again, another element that makes it nice and sturdy and solid on the run. So my verdict on the Puma Magnify Nitro 2 is that it's a great cushion shoe. It reminds me of something like the Nike Pegasus range, which is a solid workhorse shoe which isn't doing anything particularly amazing, but just ticks all the boxes for those runners that want something that just gives them confidence when they're out on the run. A bit of stability, a nice little bit of softness, plenty of cushioning in there, nice comfortable upper, and it will just do the job for all of those easy long runs that you want to do. And it's not a master of any of them, but it ticks boxes across all of them. As I said earlier, it's probably a shoe that's good for runners that want a max cushion shoe but want something that's a little bit more stable than some of the other offerings out there. So if I compared it to things like the Nike Invincible 3, it's a far more stable, solid shoe, and just you feel more confident when you're running in it. Something like the More V4 is actually not that soft in comparison to some of the other soft shoes out there. It's just got a lot of stack and width to that midsole foam, so it does feel a little bit more cushy than this. I do enjoy running in shoes like the New Balance More V4 a bit more. Saucony Triumph 21 I think is a really nice, enjoyable shoe to run in and is a bit of an all-rounder as well. Magnify 2 veers more towards that Triumph 21 style, where it's a shoe that it's a jack of all trades, but you can do a few different things in it. I don't think it's as versatile as a Saucony Triumph 21. I think that shoe is really veering more towards the daily shoe as opposed to a max cushion shoe nowadays. And to be honest, this does sit a little bit further away from the max cushion shoes that you might look at as high cushioned options, because it does have that slightly more responsive, firmer midsole to it. So you can use it for other stuff as well and maybe get a little bit more speed out of it. But it's definitely not a versatile shoe. I wouldn't use it as a daily trainer unless I was really focused on those slower runs all the time. So that's it from me on the Puma Magnify Nitro 2. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell. Anything you can find on the screen to click, but don't click the dislike button. And don't forget, we've also got our monthly podcast that comes out at the end of each month. We also do specials as well now. So we'll have interviews with some of the people that are in the running world like us, people like Ben is Running and Ed Budd. So if you go into captions below, you can find that as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you next time.